What am I doing? I'm not in my basement. What's this video about? We're going to find out right here, right now on Model Railroad Talk. So stick around because we're going to get this video on the tracks. For one brief little bit of intro here. Yes, I'm back in the layout room. So we're going to get to the rail fanning that I did. And before I get to that, though, I wanted to first of all say that it was a last minute impromptu thing that I decided to go down to the Nahant yard, CPKC yard there in Davenport, and do a little bit of rail fanning. I was in one spot. I kind of scoped out a few other spots that I can set up for future. But this is not, I mean, I'm going to be doing more rail fanning as time goes on. Still going to be model railroading videos as well, but I figured I would change it up a little bit and show some video that I took while I was down there. But before we jump to that here shortly, I remember Broadway Limited. They do support this podcast, so thank you to them. www.broadway-limited.com. Also check out our Facebook page, Model Railroad Talk, or you can go to our website, www.modelrailroadtalk.com. Also, you may notice I have a hat. Yes, we now have our t-shirts, sweatshirts, and hats online. If you go to our website, you'll see store, and our store is now actually hosted through Everlasting Impressions, who does all my stuff now. So by going through them, it streamlines the process. Instead of you submitting the order, then I have to reach out to them, and then they have to make it and then get it to me, and then I ship it out. It cuts down that time. So they get the order, they'll fulfill it, ship it right to you, and it cuts out the middleman kind of thing. It saves some time. So anyways, if you have any questions, reach out to us, modelrailroadtalk@gmail.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe below. And so, yeah, let's get right to the footage that I've done, I shot, and I hope you enjoy. Now, this was my first time ever really going out rail fanning, so unfortunately, I do not know what the train numbers and stuff like that were. I was just excited that there was the amount of movement there was while I was down there. I spent roughly 2 to 2.5 hours down at the rail yard in this one spot. Got some good footage, I believe. I do know that I would like to try shooting from the other side of the tracks that you can see here. Here comes the Southern Bell head units, but I'd like to try a few other spots to shoot from here. So I was very excited to be able to see all this happen, and I wanted to share it with you. Now this was cool to see, and you'll see the rest of it at the end of the video, but this locomotive was pulling up to get on the roundhouse turntable. That was really cool to see. So stick around because you'll see it spinning. Now, mind you, with this being the first time I've ever really gone out to quote unquote rail fanning, I'm still learning my camera stuff. I'm still learning all that good stuff. And I learned some stuff that I'm going to do differently next time. And I also found some things that really worked. So I'm excited to be able to go out and rail fan again down in that area, even though it's right here in town for me. But I really am looking forward to going down and shooting from a different angles and um, trying some different things. So, yes, no, I don't claim to be a professional videographer, nothing like that. So, um, but I think the footage is at least decent for a first timer. So, um, let's get back to watching more trains. Now, I was very surprised at how quickly the locomotives sped up here, and you may notice I kind of moved a little quickly and mumbled some words under my breath because it caught me by basically caught me off guard, caught me by surprise at how quickly they were rolling. Then all of a sudden, it was just like, man, he was up and moving. So yeah, it was fun, but it also threw me off a little bit. So here we see the locomotive that pulled up at the very beginning is finally getting spun around on the turntable. I just happened to catch this when I was done rail fanning and went across the tracks, and unfortunately the video, I grabbed my phone and the lens was, I think, slightly dirty because the quality of the video isn't the best, but I thought it was cool. I've never seen a real life turntable in action, so it was really cool to see. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.